Hello, guys. So I was feeling lazy today, but since I haven't posted in a while, I decided to give this to you. It's a Izuku Midoriya X Wolf listener. As I said, I'm making this as I go because three reasons. I want to be creative. I'm trying to be as original as possible. I don't want to get copyrighted because last time in my old channel, I got copyrighted because I didn't give credit to the owner, and I got a lot of complaints from a lot of different people, a bunch of hate. So I'm making this up as I go. And I stutter a lot. Please do not hate me. Thank you. Announcement over. Let's start the story. Ever since he was 10, he was always raised in a lab. The people in the lab he raised in always told you that pro heroes were absolute jerks, and you should never trust them. But you see them on TV sometimes fighting bad guys. So even you had a little slimmer of hope saying that they're good. A gut feeling that saying that they were good. See what I mean? I stutter and I don't make sense. What's wrong with you today? You let out a huge sigh. You wish the pro heroes would come and save you. But one day, something went terribly wrong that made your life a living hell. One of the doctors were doing experiments on you, but they used the wrong chemical and turned you into a white wolf. Your hair used to be a beautiful hair color, but now it turned white, and then you have ears and a white tail. And since you're already a strong, fast kid, they had to put you in restraints because you tried attacking them. You was able to fight off one of the people who tried tranquilizing you, but you got thrown back in your cell. There was only one lady that was nice to you. Her name was Miss Aki. She was always brings food to you, always had talk with you, and she was the one who gave you hope that pro heroes were going to save you. One day that you overheard the guard saying that she has been terminated for letting the pro heroes know about their secret association. Before she went away, she promised you that she'll make sure the pro heroes come and save you. You was greatly upset that she died, but you was kind of happy that she died keeping your promise. I'm the one making up. Pause for a second. I'm the one making up the story. I'm trying not to get teary-eyed. So sad. I'm too emotional for this. Back to the story. So 2 days later. 2 days later. See what I mean? That don't make sense. A week later. Pro heroes were surrounding the thing. They were fighting off the association. You were able to see this through a crack in the wall that you made. The wall was super strong, but there was a weak point. You was able to punch the wall hard enough to make a crack easier to see. You saw one of your favorite pro heroes, Eraserhead. Sorry, guys, if you're a listener and your favorite hero is not Eraserhead. I'm sorry. If you're gonna hate me, just leave. Thank you. Okay, back to the story. He was so cool, wrapping around his scarf around villains and the villains, as well as the society, throwing them around, beating them up, and you also see Endeavor, who was lighting them on fire. Ugh. That guy creeped you out. But then Aizawa made eye contact with you. You automatically ducked down. Besides Aizawa's point of view. I saw someone look at me through a crack in the wall. I automatically knew there was someone inside. That's why they were sending out so many people to protect the outside of the lab to stall. I was able to break through the fight and get inside. And I realized there was a girl in a cell tied with a bunch of chains that had white ears and a white tail. I was surprised because they never in the report they said that this was like a drug deal and they were funding, and it was illegal, but I never thought this would happen. I was able to walk into the cell using a key card I stole, and and I was able to break the chains. The girl gave me a scared look, and she backed away from me, like she was worried I was gonna hurt her. I can see the pain and sorrow in her eyes, and I see all those cuts and bruises all over her, and those hickeys. I automatically knew that she was sexually, physically, and mentally abused. It reminds me of Eerie. I hate seeing Eerie like that. I hate her. I hate seeing her like that. I stretch out my hand to let the girl take it. Listener's point of view, or your point of view. I was skeptical at first. A pro hero coming to save me? Huh. That's not something that happens every day. But I took his hand anyways, and that was the best decision I ever made. I couldn't really walk properly because I felt like I had something broken, and I had a bunch of cuts and bruises. So Mr. Aizawa put me on his back, and we walked outside. Endeavor was really upset that Aizawa left in the middle of the fight, and he had to take care of the other villains on his own. But since he saw you on his back, he just shut up. He just shut up and just left in a rage mess. Mr. Aizawa took you to the local hospital, and the police showed up, asked you a bunch of questions about society. You told them everything that you knew, so that they can arrest the other people, the boss, and the people that are funding this society. You had to stay with Mr. Aizawa and President Mike and Eri. President Mike was always funny, loud. It kind of hurt your ears though, since you're a wolf. You're a wolf. Your ears were sensitive now, but you got used to the noise, so it wasn't all that bad. And sooner or later, Mr. Aizawa adopted you. So now your sister is Eri, and Hitoshi Shinso is now your brother. After a few days of fighting and after a few years of training and fighting, you got into UA. Of course, a lot of kids in UA thought you were Aizawa's automatically favorite since you were his adopted daughter, but he made it clear that he wasn't treating you any different from the others. You got along well with the girls and most of the boys. And then you met Izuku Midoriya during lunch period. And when you saw him, you stopped dead in your tracks. He was so cute. He had a bunch of green messy hair, and his eyes were glowing up. You would turn into a blushy mess. He asked if you was okay, and you said yeah. So he was asking about your quirk. He wasn't sure exactly what your quirk was, but it gave you he said at first he never knew what your quirk was. He never found out about it, cause he was an orphan before you got taken into society, so he never found out what your quirk was. He was surprised when you said he didn't know what your quirk is. So he said, I think he might know, because since you have wolf ears and a tail, he decided to name your quirk Winterwolf. And when choosing later on in the year, when choosing pro hero names, he decided to go with Winterwolf. You and Izuku grew closer. Until one bad day. He was in training with Izuku, talking to us normally. He's about to say something, but then all of a sudden alarms start going off. You head to in front of the school where a lot of kids were rushing. You see a bunch of people from the society that kidnapped you. They were fighting a bunch of heroes, but then the boss grabbed Izuku by the throat. He was holding up a super sharp blade to his neck. Based on physics and science, if he cut him through the throat, in a matter of seconds he would die. The whole fight stopped when he yelled. And he would stop dead on. He said, the boss said, come back with me or else. He didn't want to go back to his hell place, but he didn't want to see your crush and your best friend suffer. And you didn't want your classmates to suffer. Reluctantly, you said you would go. And he didn't drop Izuku until a few moments later when he got next to him. He put you in chains and you guys walked away. Everyone was crying and screaming. Especially when he saw the look on Izuku's face, your heart hurted so bad. It was pain and distraught. Okay, guys, so that's the end of part 1. ... If you want a part 2, let me know in the comments. I made up the story as I go. I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed. I made the story sad, and I'm such an emotional kid that even if I'm making up something in my head and it's sad, I will cry. I'm crying like a little bit right now. So, guys, hope you have a nice day, night, whenever you're seeing this. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys.